Animal Kingdom Chapter 4. When you look around, you will observe different animals with different structures and forms, as over a million species of animals have been described till now. The need for classification becomes all the more important. The classification also helps in assigning systematic position to newly described species. Basis of classification. In spite of difference in structure and form of different animals, there are fundamental features common to various individuals in relation to the arrangement of cells. Body, symmetry, nature of coelom, patterns of digestive, circulatory, and reproductive system. These features are used as the basis of animal classification, and some of them are discussed here. First one, level of organization. Though all the members of Animalia are multicellular, all of them do not exhibit the same pattern of organization of cells. For example, in sponges, the cells are arranged as loose cell aggregate, that is, they exhibit cellular level of organization. Some division of level occur among the cells. In coelentrates, the arrangement of cells is more complex. Here the cell performing the same function are arranged into tissue. Hence the cell tissue level of organization. A still higher level of organization, that is organ level, is exhibited by members of Platyhelminthes and other higher phyla, where tissue are grouped together to form organs, each specialized for a particular function in animals like annelids, arthropods and mollusks, echinoderms and chordates. Organs have associated to form functional system, each system concerned with a specific physiological function. This pattern is called organ system level of organization. Organ system in different group of animals exhibit various patterns of complexities. For example, the digestive system in Platyhelminthes has only a single opening to the outside of the body that serves as both mouth and anus, and is hence called incomplete. A complete digestive system has two opening, mouth and anus. Similarly, the circulatory system may be of two types. First one, open type, in which the blood is pumped out of the heart and the cells and the tissue are directly bathed in it. And second one is closed type, in which the blood is circulated through a series of vessels of varying diameters, arteries, veins and capillaries. Now, symmetry. Animals can be categorized on the basis of their symmetry. Sponges are mostly asymmetrical, that is, any plane that passes through the center does not divide them into equal halves. When any plane passing through the central axis of the body divides the organism into two identical halves, it is called radial symmetry. Coelenterate, ctenophore and echinoderms have this kind of body plan. Animals like annelids, arthropods, etc., where the body can be divided into identical left and right halves in only one plane, exhibit bilateral symmetry. Diploblastic and triploblastic organism. Now, animals in which the cells are arranged in two embryonic layers, an external ectoderm and internal endoderm, are called diploblastic animal. Example, coelentrates. An undifferentiated layer, mesogalia, is present in between the ectoderm and the endoderm. Those animals in which the developing embryo has a third germinal layer is called mesoderm, in which the ectoderm and endoderm are called triploblastic animals, Platyhelminthes to chordates. Now, coelom. The presence of a cavity between the body wall and the gut wall is very important in classification. The body cavity, which is lined by mesoderm, is called coelom. Animals possessing coelom are called coelomates. Example, annelids, mollusks, arthropod, echinoderms, hemichordates and chordates. In some animals, the body cavity is not lined by mesoderm. Instead, the mesoderm is present as scattered pouches in between the ectoderm and endoderm. Such a body cavity is called pseudocoelom, and the animals possessing them are called pseudocoelomates. Example, Excretory. The animals in which the body cavity is absent are called acoelomate. Example, Platyhelminthes. Now, segmentation. In some animal, the body is externally and internally divided into segments with a serial repetition of at least some organs. For example, in earthworm, the body saw this pattern called metameric segmentation, and the phenomenon is called metamerism. Now, notochord. Notochord is a mesodermally derived rod-like structure formed on the dorsal side during embryonic development in some animals. Animals with notochord are called chordates, and those animals which do not form these structures are called non-chordates. Example, porifera to echinoderms. Classification of animals. The broad classification of Animalia based on common fundamental features as mentioned in the preceding section in given figure, which we can see here. Now, important characteristic feature of the different phyla are described. First one is porifera. Phylum Porifera. Members of this phylum are commonly known as sponges. They are generally marine and mostly asymmetrical animals. These are primitive multicellular animals and have cellular level of organization. Sponges have a water transport or canal system. Water enters through minute pore ostia in the body wall into a central cavity spongocoel, from where it goes out through the osculum. This pathway of water transport is helpful in food gathering, respiratory exchange and removal of waste. Conocytes or collar cells line the spongocoel and the canals. Digestion is intracellular. The body is supported by a skeleton made up of spicules or spongine fibers. Sexes are not separate, hermaphrodite, that is, eggs and sperms are produced by the same individual. Sponges reproduce asexually by fragmentation and sexually by the formation of gametes. Fertilization is internal and development is indirect, having a larval stage which is morphologically distinct from the adult. Example, Sycon, Spongilla and Euspongia. Now, phylum Coelenterate Cnidaria. They are aquatic, mostly marine, sessile or free-swimming, radially symmetrical animals. The name Cnidaria is derived from the nidoblast or nidocytes, which contain the stinging capsule or nematocyte cyst present on the tentacles and the body. Nidoblasts are used for encourage defense and for the capture of prey. Cnidarians exhibit tissue level of organization and are diploblastic. They have a central gastrovascular cavity with a single opening mouth on hypostome. Digestion is extracellular and intracellular. Some of the cnidarians, example corals, have a skeleton composed of calcium carbonate. Cnidarians exhibit two basic body forms called polyp and medusa. The former is a sessile and cylindrical form like hydra, adamsia, etc., whereas the latter is umbrella shaped and free swimming like aurelia or jellyfish. Those cnidarians which exist in both forms exhibit alteration of generation, metagenesis, that is, polyps produce medusae asexually and medusa form the polyps sexually, that example ovelia. Examples, Physalia, Adamsia, Penentula, Gorgonia and Mandrina. Phylum Ctenophora. Ctenophores, commonly known as sea walnuts or comb jellies, are exclusively marine, radially symmetrical diploblastic organisms with tissue level of organization. The body bears 8 external rows of ciliated comb plates which help in locomotion. Digestion is both extracellular and intracellular. Bioluminescence, the property of a living organism to emit light, is well marked in ctenophores. Sexes are not separate. Reproduction takes place only by sexual means. Fertilization is external with indirect development. Examples, Pleurodontia and Ctenoplana. Now, phylum Platyhelminthes. They have dorsal ventrally flattened body, hence are called flatworms. These are mostly endoparasite found in animals including human beings. Flatworms are bilaterally symmetrical triploblastic acoelomate animals with organ level of organization. Hooks and suckers are present in the parasitic form. Some of them absorb nutrients from the host directly through their body surface. A specialized cell called phlegm cells help in osmoregulation and excretion. Sexes are are not separate. Fertilization is internal and development is through many larval stages. Some members like planaria possess high regeneration capacity. Examples Taenia and Fasciola. Now, phylum Scalemanthus. The body of the Scalemanthus is circular in cross section, hence the name roundworms. They may be free living, aquatic, and terrestrial, or parasitic in plants and animals. Roundworms have organ level of body organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, and pseudocoelomate animals. Alimentary canal is complete with a well-developed muscular pharynx. An excretory tube removes body waste from the body cavity through the excretory pore. Sexes are separate, so dioecious, that is, male and female are distinct. Often females are longer than males. Fertilization is internal and development may be direct. The young ones resembles the adult or indirect. Example Ascaris, Wucheria, and Ankylostoma. Now, phylum Annelida. They may be aquatic, marine or freshwater, or terrestrial, free living, and sometimes parasitic. They exhibit organ level of body organization and bilateral symmetry. They are triploblastic, metamerically segmented, and coelomate animals. Their body surface is distinctly marked out into segments or metamers, and hence the phylum name Annelida, Latin annulus, little ring. They possess longitudinal and circular muscles which help in locomotion. Aquatic annelids like Nereis possess lateral appendages, parapodia, which help in swimming. A closed circulatory system is present. Nephridia, singular nephridium, help in osmoregulation and excretion. Neural system consists of paired ganglia, singular ganglion, connected by a lateral nerve to double ventral nerve cord. Nereis, an aquatic form, is dioecious, but earthworms and leeches are monoecious. Reproduction is sexual. So, example Nereis, Ferretima, and Hirudinaria. Now, phylum Arthropoda. This is the largest phylum of Animalia. This is the largest phylum of Animalia, which includes insect. Over 2/3 of all named species on the earth are arthropods. They have organ level of organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, segmented, and coelomate animals. The body of arthropods is covered by chitinous exoskeleton. The body consists of head, thorax, and abdomen. They have jointed appendages, arthros, joint, poda, appendages. So, respiratory organs are gills, book lungs, or tracheal system. The circulatory system is open type. Sensory organ like antenna, eyes, compound and simple. Stetocyst or balancing organs are present. Excretion takes place through Malpighian tubule. They are mostly dioecious. Fertilization is usually internal. They are mostly oviparous. Development may be direct or indirect. Example, economically important insect Apis, Bombyx, Lucifer. Vectors, Anopheles, Culex, Aedes. Gregarious pest, Locusta. Living fossils, Limulus, king crab. Now, phylum Mollusca. This is the second largest animal phylum. Mollusca are terrestrial or aquatic, marine or freshwater, having an organ system level of organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, and coelomate animals. Body is covered by calcareous cells and is unsegmented with a distinct head, muscular foot, and visceral hump. A soft and spongy layer of skin forms a mantle over the visceral hump. The space between the hump and the mantle is called the mantle cavity, in which feather-like gills are present. They have respiratory and excretory function. The anterior head region has sensory tentacles. The mouth contains a file-like rasping organ for feeding called radula. They are usually dioecious and oviparous with indirect development. Examples Spila, Pinctada, Sepia, Loligo, Octopus, Apilacia, Dentalium, and Catopelura. Now, phylum Echinodermata. These animals have an endoskeleton of calcareous ossicles and hence the name Echinodermata, a spiny body figure given here. All are the marine with organ system level of organization. The adult echinoderms are radially symmetrical, but larvae are bilaterally symmetrical. They are triploblastic and coelomate animals. Digestive system is complete with mouth, on the lower side and the anus on the upper dorsal side. The most distinctive feature of echinoderms is the presence of water vascular system in which is help in locomotion, capture and transport of food, and respiration. An excretory system is absent, sexes are separate, reproduction is sexual, fertilization is usually external, development is indirect with free swimming larvae. Example: Asterias, Echinus, Antedon, Cucumeria, and Ophiura. Phylum Hemichordata. Now, Hemichordata was earlier considered as subphylum under phylum Chordata, but now it is placed as a separate phylum under non-Chordata. Hemichordata have a rudimentary structure in the collar region called stomochord, a structure similar to notochord. This phylum consists of a small group of worm-like marine animals with organ system level of organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, and coelomate animals. The body is cylindrical and is composed of an anterior proboscis, a collar, and long trunk. Circulatory system is of open type. Respiration takes place through gills. Excretory organs is proboscis gland. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is external. Development is indirect. Now, phylum Chordata. Phylum Chordata. Animals belonging to phylum Chordata are fundamentally characterized by the presence of notochord, a dorsal hollow nerve cord, and pair pharyngeal gills slits. These are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, coelomate with organ system level of organization. They possess a post-anal tail and closed circulatory system. These are the silent features of chordates and non-chordates. Phylum Chordata is divided into three subphyla: Urochordata or Tunicata, Cephalochordata or Vertebrata. Subphyla Urochordata and Cephalochordata are often referred to as protochordates and are exclusively marine. In Urochordata, notochord is present only in larval tail, while in Cephalochordata it extends from head to tail region and is persistent throughout their life. Example: Urochordata, Ascidia, Selpa, Doliolum. Cephalochordata, example: Branchiostoma. The members of subphyla Vertebrata possess notochord during the embryonic period. The notochord is replaced by cartilaginous or bony vertebral column in the adult. Thus, all vertebrates are chordates, but all chordates are not vertebrates. Besides the basic chordates characters, vertebrates have a ventral muscular heart with 2, 3, and or 4 chambers, kidney for excretion and osmoregulation, and pair appendages which may be fins or limbs. The subphyla which we can see here. Now, class Cyclostomata. All members of the class Cyclostomata are ectoparasites on some fishes. They have an elongated body bearing 6 to 15 pairs of gill slits for respiration. The cyclostomes have a sucking and circular mouth without jaw. Their body is devoid of scales and paired fins. Cranium or vertebral columns are cartilaginous. Circulation is of closed type. Cyclostomes are marine but migrate for spawning to fresh water. After spawning, within a few days they die. Their larvae after metamorphosis return to the ocean. Pteromyzone, example myxine. Class Chondrichthyes. They are marine animals with streamlined body and have a cartilaginous endoskeleton. Mouth is located ventrally. Notochord is persistent throughout the life. Gill slits are separate and without operculum gills cover. The skin is tough, containing minute placoid scales. Teeth are modified placoid scales which are backwardly directed. Their jaws are very powerful. These animals are predaceous. Due to the absence of air bladder, they have to swim constantly to avoid sinking. Heart is two chambered, one auricle, and one ventricle. Some of them have electric organs, example torpedo, and some possess poison sting, example trigon. They are cold-blooded poikilothermous animals, that is, they lack the capacity to regulate their body temperatures. Sexes are separate. In males, pelvic fins bear claspers. They have internal fertilization and many of them are viviparous. Example Scoliodon, dogfish, Pristis, Carcharodon, and Trigon. Class Osteichthyes. It includes both marine and freshwater fish with bony endoskeleton. Their body is streamlined. Mouth is mostly terminal. They have 4 pairs of gills which are covered by an operculum on each side. Skin is covered with cycloid tenoid scales. Air bladder is present which regulate buoyancy. Heart is two-chambered, one auricle, one ventricle. They are cold-blooded animals. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is usually external. They are mostly oviparous and development is direct. Marine exocoitus, hippocampus, freshwater labio, catala, claris, aquarium, beta, pterophyllum. And now class Amphibia. As the name indicates, Greek amphia, dual, bios, life. Amphibians can live in aquatic as well as terrestrial habitat. Most of them have 2 pairs of limbs. Body is divisible into head and trunk. Tail may be present in some. The amphibian's skin is moist without scales. The eye have eyelids. A tympanum represents the ear. Alimentary canal, urinary and reproductive tract open into a common chamber called cloaca, which opens to exterior. Respiration is by gills, lungs and through skins. The heart is 3-chambered, 2 auricles and 1 ventricles. These are cold-blooded animals. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is external. They are oviparous and development is indirect. Example Bufo, Rana, Hyla, Salamandra, Ichthyopis fish, limbless amphibia. Okay. Now class Reptilia. The class name refer to their creeping and crawling mode of locomotion. They are mostly terrestrial animals and body is covered by dry cornified skin, epidermal scales or scutes. They do not have an external ear opening. The tympanum represents ear. Limbs which present are the 2 pairs. Heart is usually 3-chambered but 4-chambered in crocodile. Reptiles are poikilotherms. Snakes and lizards shed their scales as skin cast. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is internal. They are oviparous and development is direct. Example Cylon, Testudo, Chameleon, Coelurus, Crocodilus, Alligator, Hemidactylus, poisonous snakes, Naja, Bangrus and Vipera. Class Aves. The characteristic feature of aves birds are the presence of feather and most of them can fly except flightless bird, example ostrich. They possess beak. The forelimbs are modified into wings. The hind limbs generally have scales and are modified for walking, swimming and clasping the tree branches. Skin is dry without gland except the oil gland at the base of the tail. Endoskeleton is fully ossified, bony and the long bones are hollow with air cavities, pneumatics. The digestive tract of birds has additional chambers, the crop and gizzard. Heart is completely 4-chambered. They are warm-blooded homoiothermous animals, that is, they are able to maintain a constant body temperature. Respiration is by lungs. Air sacs connected to lungs, supplementary respiration. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is internal. They are oviparous and development is direct. Example Corvus, Columba, Cetacula, Strutio, Pavo, Apteniditis, Neophron. Okay, now class Mammalia. They are found in variety of habitats: polar ice caps, deserts, mountains, forests, grasslands and dark caves. Some of them have adapted to fly or live in water. The most unique mammalian characteristic is the presence of male producing glands, that is mammary gland, by which the young ones are nourished. They have 2 pairs of limbs adapted for walking, running, climbing, rowing, swimming or flying. The skin of Mammals is unique in possessing hair, external ear or pinny are present. Different types of teeth are present in jaw. Heart is four chambered. They are homoiothermous. Respiration is by lungs. Sexes are separate and fertilization is internal. They are viviparous with few exceptions and development is direct. Example oviparous. Example of oviparous ornith ornithoros ricus. Okay, viviparous example macropus, pteropus, camelus, macaca, rectus, canis, felis, elephas, equus, delphinus, balenoptera, panthera tigris, panthera leo. Now these are the silent distinguished feature of all phyla under kingdom is comprehensively given below in one table. Thank you so much. That's it.